Okay, so this week you students will be performing experiment number 6, and experiment number 6 is related to single dimensional array, two-dimensional array, command line arguments, and assertion. So let's start. In question number 1, you have to eliminate all the syntax and logical errors present in this code, and the output which you should get should look like this. So basically we have two arrays. One array is A, which is one dimensional, and the second array is B, which is two-dimensional array. And at the output you can see that the one-dimensional array is initialized to values from 0 to 4, whereas the two-dimensional array is been initialized to values which has a relationship, a mathematical relationship with this index and this index. So for example, this value 4 has some mathematical relationship with this index 2 and this index 2. Similarly, this value 3 has some relationship with this index 2 and this index 1. So you people have to determine that relationship and correct the code accordingly. Of course, there are many other errors as well. Eliminate them and get the correct output. Before doing that, before eliminating all the errors, try to understand the working of the code carefully. This will help you to uh, this will prevent you from making unnecessary changes to the code, and also will prevent you from complicating this code. So I recommend all of you to first understand the working of this code, understand each line of the code, understand each line of the given code, look at the output, look at the code, and try to determine what is wrong with this code. So this is all you have to do in task number 1. Okay, in task number 2, pseudocode is to be converted into C code. So pseudocode is given over here, and you have to convert this into C language or C code. And what the pseudocode does is it converts, or it sorts the numbers in ascending order. So these numbers will be sorted in ascending order by this algorithm called minimal sort. So in the very first step number 1, you have to define an array A. The name of the array is A with 10 elements, and each element should be initialized to these values. So for example, the value of the first element of array A, the value of first element of array A will be 3. Similarly, the second element will be 1, and so on, and the last element will be 8. So you have to initialize all the 10 elements of the array A to these values. Now in the second step, you have to call a function minimal sort. The name of the function is minimal sort, and minimal sort will basically sort all these numbers in ascending order, and it has two arguments. The first argument is the array A, which you have defined in step number 1, and the second argument is the number of elements of array A, which you have again defined in step number 1, and the number of elements is 10. In the third step, you have to call a function print sorted array, which will print these numbers in ascending order. The array which was sorted by this function will be printed at the output screen by this function, and again it has two arguments, the array A and the number of elements of array A, which is 10. So now let's look in detail the algorithm of function minimal sort. So in the very first step, minimal sort, you have to define four variables: start, smallest, I, and hold, and try to keep the names of these variables as shown in this manual. You can change it, but this will create confusion. So all of these arrays are of integer type, clear. And in step number 2, what you have to do is you have to use two loops to repeat some tasks. So there are two loops. The first loop will repeat these tasks shown or enclosed by the yellow color box, whereas the second loop will repeat the tasks enclosed by the red box. So the outermost for loop will run from start equal to 0. Start is the variable, name of the variable, and it will run up to number of elements minus 1. So number of elements is 10. So this for loop will run from 0 to 9. So this yellow box will be executed 10 times. So what is inside this yellow box? Inside this yellow box, you have to write the code for this line: assign start to smallest. So assign start to smallest basically means that you have to write smallest is equal to start. This is the meaning of this line. This is the meaning of this line. And inside this yellow box we have another loop, and this loop will run from I is equal to start to I less than number of elements. Number of elements again is 10, and the value of start is dependent upon the outermost for loop. It is dependent upon the outermost for loop. Okay, so in the innermost for loop, two tasks are to be executed. The first task is if ai if array if an element ai of array A is less than A smallest, then assign I to smallest. Clear? If the ith element of array A is less than the smallest element of array A, then assign I to smallest, and then increment the value of I by 1. In the next step, increment the value of start by 1. So the innermost for loop is enclosed in this red box, while the outermost for loop is enclosed in this yellow box. So repeat this procedure 9 times, from start equal to 0 to start less than number of elements, which is basically 9. Okay, so after performing this looping task, you have to assign A smallest to variable hold, then assign A start to variable A smallest to element A smallest, then assign hold to this element A start, and then print this message using minimal sort the sorted numbers are. You have to print this message within in this algorithm of minimal sort. So this is the algorithm of minimal sort. Now let's look in detail the algorithm of print sorted array, which is the function used to display all the elements in sorted form and in ascending order. So the first step is you have to define variable I. The second step is you have to use a loop. So these two tasks will be executed by the loop from I equal to 0 to I less than number of elements, and again number of elements is 10, and hence this for loop will run 10 times. So what are the two tasks? The first task is to print AI, and after printing AI you have to go to the next line, and then in the last step of this loop you have to increment the value of I by 1. You have to increment the value of I by 1. So that's it. These are the two algorithms which you have to implement, and you have to call these two functions in step 2 and step 3 to get this output. So the output is shown over here. All the elements are sorted in ascending order and are sorted and are displayed vertically. Okay, in task number 3 you have to complete the following code. This code is to be completed so that you get this output at the display screen. So basically this code sorts integers entered at the command line in Linux prompt. So this is the prompt window and this is the command line. So you will enter your input over here, and as Dr. Irfan explained in lecture number 3, this is the basically the name of the file, and these are the inputs entered by the user. So the integers are entered over here, and after running the code which you have to complete, you should get all the integers sorted in ascending order vertically. So how to do it? Let's go through each of these steps one by one. So in step number 1, look at the output image below. Look at this output image and determine the value of argc. So if you have gone through lecture number 3, you might know what is argc. So argc is basically the number of elements in the first line of the output after the dollar symbol. So the number of elements in this line. So how many elements are there? There are basically 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. There are 7 elements, and hence the value of argc would be 7. The value of argc would be 7. The value of argc would be 7. And you have to also determine the number of elements to be sorted. So how many elements do you want to sort? 5 9 6 4 1 3. So there are 6 elements to be sorted, and so the value of NOE, number of elements, this is the name of the variable. So the value of NOE would be 6. So store the number of elements to be sorted in this variable NOE, number of elements. It stands for number of elements. Okay, now let's go to step number 2. In step number 2, at line 5 there is something missing. at line 5 there is something missing, which is necessary to use command line argument, which is necessary to use this command line argument. So go through lecture number 3 and you will get the idea of what is missing in line number 5. So fill this line in order to use this command line argument properly. Okay, now in at step number 3, at line 10 you have to find a general relationship between number of elements and arc C. So at line number 10 you have to determine what should be this expression at the right hand side of this statement. So int NOE is equal to what? You have to determine the general relationship between the number of elements, which is 6 right in the example given below, and the value arc C. So what is the relationship between these two variables, NOE and arc C? So try another example. Maybe you can take say number of elements sorted to be say 8, so arc C would be 9. So it is pretty straightforward stuff to determine the relationship between NOE and arc C. Okay, so at step number 4, line number 13 to 16 will make a copy of array argv. So again you have to go through lecture number 3 to understand what is argv array. So line number 13 to line number 16, this part of the code basically makes a copy of array argv and stores it in array AI, stores it in array A. Clear? Now there are some things missing over here. At line number 13 you can see that this is missing, you have to complete this. Similarly this is missing, you have to complete this, and all the elements of array A should be integers and not strings. Now again, if you have gone through lecture number 3 you might know the answer to this question. So these three missing elements should be figured out and completed in order to run this copy procedure correctly. Okay, so step number 5, now you have to call the function minimal sort and print sorted array. So both of these functions were defined in task number 2 over here. So just copy paste both of these functions into this code, and you should know where to copy paste those functions. And you have to do one additional thing as well, you should know that as well. So call, after copy pasting them, call the functions minimal sort and print sorted array. Call both of these functions so that all the elements are sorted in ascending order by this minimal sort function, and then printed vertically at the output screen by this function. So I hope this is clear. So you have to copy paste from task number 2. Okay, in step number 6, complete line 2. Complete line number 2. This line number 2 is again incomplete, and so that the strings stored in argv array can be converted to integers. And again you have to go through lecture number 3 to find out which header file is responsible for doing this task, i.e. converting strings to integers. Okay, so in step number 7, after writing the code, you have to save the name of the file by this name, minimal.c, and then after saving it, you will compile, and after compiling it, you have to type this. You have to type this as shown over here, and after typing this, press enter to get this output. Okay, in task number 4, you have to repeat the above tasks for bubble sort sorting algorithm, and the exact code of this algorithm is given here. So copy paste this code as it is into your Emacs editor. And one additional thing to consider is that yes, so if there is a flag -b before the user enters the input, then what you should do, you should or what should the code do, the code should use bubble sort algorithm to sort all the numbers and then print those sorted numbers vertically using print sorted array function. And if this flag -b is not present or not entered by the user, then you should display this message, flag -b not detected. So you will be using if else statement to perform this task. So that is what I have explained over here. And there is one more thing, you have to assume that this flag -b will occur right after the file name. Right after the file name, -b can be entered by the user and not anywhere else, and it can be entered by the user only once. Clear? So it will be entered by the user only once, and then at the last step you have to save the name of the file bubblesort.c before compiling and running it, and then you can test your code by writing these command line arguments, and you should get this output as shown over here. Clear? So task 4 and task 3 are pretty much same, except for the fact that bubble sort algorithm will be used and you have to detect this flag as well. The last task, in task number 5, you have to use the code you wrote in task 3 and task 4, and then modify those codes such that if flag -b is entered by the user, then bubble sort algorithm will be used to sort all the numbers, and if -b is not entered by the user, then minimal sort algorithm will be used to sort all the numbers and print it vertically. Clear? So this task and this task is pretty much the same. Previously you were displaying this message, but in this task, instead of displaying this message, you will use minimal sort to sort all these numbers and print them vertically after being sorted. So if you have completed all these 5 tasks, then it means that you have completed Caltech Lab 3. You have completed 95% of Caltech Lab 3. So I hope you have understood what I have explained, and thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.